advantages that one group of people or one person can have over another, right? That are so outsized that it makes them practically impossible to compete with unless you play the same game. And even then, you aren't usually going to be able to do that. So, for example, the Mongolic Turks, okay, Genghis Khan, all of these guys were able to terrorize armies, just cut different units of the army away from each other and make them feel isolated and just start making them panic. You know, they would defeat armies that were twice, thrice, four times their size. They conquered literally almost the whole world, at least all of the world that was known at the time, right? And the simple thing that allowed them to do this was these guys could, unlike everybody else who lived at the time, take a bow on a horse and shoot people from it. That was it. When the Muslims entered Al-Andalus, Tariq and Baziyad and all these people, two simple advantages. One, horses. The Spanish and all these people, they were from like the Roman times. The Romans didn't use cavalry. That's something they learned from us. They took an area the size of Spain and Portugal and they went into France. They were only checked from reaching the rest of Europe simply because one, some guy figured out the tactic, right? And the second thing is that they got too concerned about how much war booty they were carrying to actually finish the job. But they could have taken the whole thing. And, yeah, even though they lost their advantage, the Muslims ruled Spain and Portugal for 700 years after them. And if you look at, the British are just guns. I have a gun, you don't have a gun. We all speak English. I do not have any ancestor who is British. No one. Not an ancestor who is white. Okay? And I'm half Indian and half African. None of that stuff. And yet I speak English. There's advantages that are so outsized that no matter what, you can't really compete with a person who has this. And in daily life, okay, as one person, as an individual, the greatest advantage of this kind you can have is communication. The average person is completely inept at communicating what he wants to say to other people. And that's not just saying what it is that you want to say to the other person. This is making sure that the person gets what you're saying the way you understand it in your mind. The average person has no idea what other people are saying to them, whether it's what they're saying directly or what is implied under what they're saying, which is just as important. And there's sort of things that are kind of easy to tell, like the first time a girl had a crush on you in like primary school and she's looking at you like this and shaking her head every time you talk. Yeah, but as an adult, you don't really know any of these things. And the other thing is that people are completely inept at understanding the things that they're saying to themselves. So you say to yourself, I want this goal, but you're not getting to this goal. And the reason is probably that maybe you're saying it like this, but your behavior is saying a completely different thing and you're not aware of that. And people, not only are they not aware of these sort of dynamics, they don't even think about these things. So when you're trying to communicate something to somebody else and they don't get it the way that you are saying it, either you're going to continue to try and tell them, or you're just going to get angry that they don't understand. And the same thing, somebody might be coming at you and they're saying something and they seem super angry, right? But there's something behind it. But you don't see that. You're too absorbed in what you're saying that's, ظاهر, what is apparent from what you're saying, and you're completely forgetting the other side. So a person might be coming to seem super angry at you or seem super frustrated and seem super stressed, right? But it could just be that your little sister actually just wants to spend time with you. Very simple things. So one of the things that everybody has to do, I myself and everybody has to do, is when you're looking at your day-to-day interactions, your interactions with people in general, your interactions with yourself, you need to be able to step back and look and see, hey, what is actually going on here? Is there something I'm missing? Stuff like that. So that you can improve the dynamics of your relationships, because those are really the most important things. It's like humans exist with humans for a reason, because we can't, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go together. All of that stuff, right? No matter who you are, eventually the bottleneck is going to come to the people who are around you. And you need to be able to deal with these dynamics. Whether you have a dysfunctional family dynamic, whether it's your team, in a business who isn't working, and all of these things, whether it is you yourself who are holding yourself back, and how you can actually go about getting to where you want to go. You need to be able to understand these dynamics and then move in the right directions towards each of them. So you need to be able to tell, nah, this meeting looks super okay, but this person just talked angrily, and this other person as a result has just checked out. So yes, while we're going to talk for the next 1 hour, there's really no point because nobody's really listening. And how you can solve that, all of these things come down at the start to communication. You need to understand how to talk to yourself, how to talk to others, and you need to understand what you're saying to yourself and what others are saying to you. Without that, you are doomed to mediocrity. Or worse,